Are you looking for a unique place to vacation this year? A place with dramatic and contrasting landscapes from massive fjords, mountains, geysers, lava, glaciers, and more? Well, look no further. I'm going to tell you all about the land of ice and fire, the incomparable country of Iceland. There are so many places to go in Iceland, so in this guide, I'm going to keep it focused on the 5 best regions you absolutely need to check out. I did the ring road, the highway that circles the entire country, so a lot of places will be based off of that route, but most of them are attainable from Reykjavik. And make sure to keep watching so you don't miss the #1 region that you have to check out. And before we kick it off, remember to like and subscribe as I release unique travel guides weekly. Now let's start off with the 5th best region to check out in Iceland, the Diamond Circle. If you like the sound of exploring one of the most geologically active corners of the globe, look no further. The first place I recommend that you check out is the Dettifoss waterfall, which is one of the most powerful waterfalls in Europe, with cascading water roaring from the 45-meter or 148-foot drop. Next, check out Lake Mývatn, which is a massive lake covering more than 37 square kilometers or about 23 miles. It's a massive body of shallow water surrounded by volcanic formations that were pretty cool and formed conic structures. The last part that I thought was pretty cool in the Diamond Circle was the Godafoss waterfall, which is the waterfall of gods in English. This is the closest part of the circle to Akureyri, and this is a cool waterfall and it's right on the Diamond Circle. I am not super enthused about the Diamond Circle, but it's definitely something to do since you can't avoid it driving around the ring road. But since it can't really compare to the other parts of Iceland on this list, I have to rank it number 5 and give it an 8 out of 10. The Diamond Circle takes about 4 hours to drive the whole thing, but if you want to enjoy yourself, give yourself a full day. The 4th region on my list is the Snæfellsnes Peninsula, which is often called Mini Iceland, as you can see everything the country has to offer in one area. It's located about a 2-hour drive north of Reykjavik Airport and is good if you want to get a bit off the beaten path. I'd start off checking out the Bjarnafoss, which is right off the road, and you can walk up and pretty much have it to yourself. After that, I checked out Anarstapi, which is a small fishing village at the foot of Mount Stapafell. From here, you can do a coastal hike to another small fishing village, which provides beautiful views of mossy lava fields and rugged cliffs and rock formations. After that, I went to my favorite place in the region and one of my favorite places in Iceland, Djúpalónssundur, which is a black pebbled beach like the more famous Westfjords, which I'll get to later in the video. I might have actually preferred this one since it was way less crowded and absolutely stunning. Overall, I give Snæfellsnes Peninsula a 9.25 out of 10. It's a super beautiful and unique region where you can experience Iceland at its purest and avoid some of the crowds. I'd give yourself 2 days in this region. And as a bonus, you have to stop at the Glymur Falls, which is 45 minutes from Reykjavik and on the way to Snæfellsnes Peninsula. It's Iceland's 2nd tallest waterfall, and you can only get to it from a beautiful hike. This 7-kilometer or 4-mile round-trip moderately difficult hike features a short walk through a cave, 2 river crossings, and many amazing views of the waterfall. It's best to do this hike between June through September when there's no snow on the ground and the log in the place of the first river crossing is still crossable. I give Glymur Falls a 9.5 out of 10. It was by far my favorite waterfall in Iceland and it's a top tier mini hike. I'd give yourself 4 to 6 hours for this hike to enjoy it fully. And now on to the heavyweights. The 3rd region I recommend is the famous and mysterious Westfjords of Iceland. The Westfjords are much less traveled than other corners of the country due to their vastness and distance from must-see destinations. It's Iceland's best-kept secret. Prepare yourself for a lot of driving, unpaved roads, spectacular views, stunning landscapes, cute little settlements with traditional architecture, and mountainous passes. You can get here by ferry, car, or plane. My first stop was Radissundur, which is filled with incredibly gorgeous and vast pink sand beaches and massive landscapes that took me completely by surprise. Nearby is the famous black church called Saurbær. It's super cool in contrast with most of Iceland's other churches, which tend to be a vibrant mix of white and either red or blue roofs, instead of this heavy metal black and red. In the northern section of the Westfjords stands Ísafjörður, the capital of the Westfjords, and compared to the rest of this incredibly remote region, feels like a metropolis with restaurants, bars, cafes, supermarkets, a college, and an airport. It's a really beautiful town and beautifully situated within a fjord, and a great place to make your home base in the northern region. A place from here that I went to is called Hornstrandir, which is the northernmost part of the Westfjords and one of the most difficult to access places in Iceland, which is saying something. It was abandoned in the 1950s and turned into a nature preserve in 1975. It's one of Europe's last wildernesses and filled with beautiful, unspoiled nature and snow foxes. I did a day tour, which picked us up from Ísafjörður. It was incredibly gorgeous, but the tour was $400, which is a bit hefty. Overall, I rate the Westfjords a 9.6 out of 10. It's such an incredibly gorgeous region that was special, and it has a lot of places to see and not too many crowds. I recommend spending a minimum of 2 days here, but you could also spend up to 7 days and be happy. In second place is the incredible southern coastal region, which is stacked with different amazing places to visit that happen to be within a day's drive from Reykjavik, and also these locations are conveniently located just off the ring road or right on it. So you have plenty of options if you're road tripping, want to do a day trip, or take a tour. If you're coming from Reykjavik or doing the ring road clockwise, I recommend starting with the Vatnajökull Canyon. The canyon is about 100 meters or 328 feet deep and 2 kilometers or 1.2 miles long. The winding walls filled with oddly shaped salient and bumps dotted with soft grass and patches make this place truly special. There's a hiking trail right next to it that's pretty easy and leads to various viewpoints. I recommend spending about an hour or so here to get the full experience. If you want to check out a cool waterfall that has practically no people around, check out the Stornafoss Fall, which is a 15-minute drive from the Vatnajökull Canyon. It's a somewhat hidden yet super beautiful waterfall that you can have all to yourself, which is a rarity in southern Iceland. And on top of that, it's not too much of a detour. It's a great place to chill out and have a picnic, especially if you're doing the ring road and want some piece of Iceland to yourself. Moving along the ring road, heading closer to Reykjavik, is the incredible Reynisfjörður. It's a world-famous black sand beach found on the south coast of Iceland, just beside Vik, which is the southernmost village on the mainland of Iceland. It's about 180 kilometers or 112 miles away from Reykjavik, which is about a 2.5-hour straightforward drive. This massively long stretch of pitch black sand strikes a perfect contrast with the white foam of the crashing waves and the blue water, and is something everyone needs to experience. Be careful though, the waves are very strong and can sneak up on people and pull them out to sea, where there are strong currents and freezing cold water, and yeah, you want to be careful, so keep your distance. Most people spend about a half an hour here, which is typically how long tours give you, but up to an hour to see the beach and the basalt columns will serve you well. Next up is Skagafoss, one of the biggest waterfalls in Iceland, with a drop of 60 meters or 192 feet, and you can walk right up to it. But be prepared to be drenched. It's located in South Iceland, about 2 hours from Reykjavik, and also part of many tours and many day trips that people combine with other famous sites, so expect crowds. Beyond that was a great hike that follows the Skoga River. The full hike is 16 kilometers or around 10 miles. I recommend at least doing part of it because practically no other tours do, and you get to see countless beautiful waterfalls almost to yourself, and some of them are almost as big as Skogafoss. I give the southern coast of Iceland a 9.7 out of 10. It's stacked with insane beauty, and there's so many major sights to see, but also a lot of hidden gems at the same time. I'd rank it a bit higher, but it's a little bit touristy. Typically for this region, you need about a full day, or you could spend about another day as well, and you can see all that you want to see. And finally, we reached the #1 region to check out in Iceland, the land of glaciers, Vatnajökull National Park. This spectacular national park contains the largest glacier in Europe, for which it gets its namesake, Vatnajökull. The park covers an area of 14,141 square kilometers, or about 6,000 square miles, which is 14% of the country's total area, and it's the second largest national park in Europe. This region is about a 4.5 to 5 hour, 550 kilometer or 340 mile drive from Reykjavik, and therefore it is not day trippable from the capital. I recommend staying in one of the adjacent towns like Skaftafell or Hof. There's a lot to do here, and I recommend that you do 3 things. The first is to spend time in the Jökulsárlón Glacier region, which is Iceland's most famous glacier lagoon and located right off the main highway, and is one of the most incredible things that I saw in Iceland. The lagoon is filled with ice chunks and icebergs that are something that are truly mesmerizing. I recommend that you get here for sunset as well, as it's absolutely spectacular. Also, the famous Diamond Beach is right across the road, so make sure you don't miss that like I did, because I didn't realize that it was right there. The next thing I recommend you do is to go kayaking through the icebergs in one of the lagoons. I ended up doing it in another lagoon, which was super cool because we had it all to ourselves. We also got to climb on the icebergs, which was also a special experience. And lastly, I recommend that you hike on a glacier. This is something that's a very common tour, where they bring a bunch of you up to the glacier and outfit you with your own special boots, a pickaxe, and a hard hat, and you hike to the glacier and on the glacier, which was a special experience. With all of that, you should get a fix of your glaciers and experience them in so many different ways. You could do all of that in about a day, but I recommend at least doing it over 2 days to give yourself more time to chill out and enjoy it. I rate this region to be an easy 9.95 out of 10, and it was a fun experience that felt like an adventure. I highly recommend it. It's an incredible experience that you'll never forget. Well, that wraps it up for this video. Which one of these places do you want to visit first? Or if you've already been, which was your favorite in Iceland? Let me know down in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this video, please hit a like and subscribe to see more travel videos and travel guides that'll tell you all about the unique and special places that I've traveled to. Iceland is a truly incomparable country, and you have to add it to your list.